Hello student, Physics class 11th, Chapter 5 Laws of Motion, Part 4. Now today's topic is laws of limiting friction. In my previous video, we already have done the difference between limiting friction, static friction and kinetic friction. And the other two type of friction is rolling friction and the sliding friction. Now here is the law of limiting friction. The first law states that the magnitude of the force of limiting friction F between any two bodies in contact is directly proportional to the normal reaction between them. That is, the force of limiting friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction. Now the second law, the direction of force of limiting friction is always opposite to the direction in which one body at verge of moving over the other. At the verge of moving means अभी वो start होने की कोशिश ही करे. At the verge of moving over the other, the limiting friction is always opposing the direction in which the body is verge of moving means अगर body आपका इस direction में जा रही है the force of friction will act in the limiting friction act in the opposite direction. Third law of limiting friction states that the force of limiting friction is independent of the apparent area of contact so long as normal reaction between the two bodies in contact remains the same. So the force of limiting friction is independent of the apparent area of contact. Means अगर आपका बॉडी ये आपकी बॉडी है तो इसका जो एरिया ऑफ कांटेक्ट है इट इज independent of apparent area of contact so long as the normal reaction between the two bodies in contact remains the same. जब तक बॉडी के बीच में कांटेक्ट रहेगा तब तक फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द एपरेंट एरिया. जितना उसका एरिया ऑफ कांटेक्ट है उसके वो एपरेंट रहेगा, इंडिपेंडेंट रहेगा. The last law of limiting friction states that the force of limiting friction between any two bodies in contact depend on the nature of the material of the surfaces in contact, that is force of adhesion and their roughness or the smoothness. So the limiting friction depend on the nature of the two substance जिसके ऊपर दो bodies आपस में in contact रहेगी. So they are depend on the nature of the material. If the surface is smooth, so the force of limiting friction is less. Now before coming to the some important derivation, let us understand some important terms. The first is the coefficient of the friction. Now coefficient of the friction is denoted by mu, the letter mu. According to the first law of limiting friction जो अभी हमने किया, F is directly proportional to R. The force of limiting friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction. So when we remove the proportionality sign, so there a constant will come which is denoted as the mu which is called as the constant of proportionality, and mu is equal to F upon R. So mu can be defined as coefficient of limiting friction between any two surfaces in contact is defined as the ratio of the force of limiting friction and normal reaction between them. Means the coefficient of limiting friction is defined as the ratio of the force of friction to the normal reaction between them. The value of mu depend on number one, nature of the surfaces in contact, that is dry, wet, rough, smooth, polished, non-polished. Second, material of the surface in contact. So these are the two things on which the mu, that is the coefficient of friction, depends. Now next is your angle of friction. Angle of friction is denoted by the letter theta. So angle of friction is defined as the angle of friction between any two surfaces in contact is defined as the angle at which the resultant of the force of limiting friction F and normal reaction R makes with the direction of normal reaction. Means, for example, you can take the object. यहाँ पे we have taken an object and this is a plane surface. This is the area of contact between the two surfaces. As you know, weight mg is acting downward direction, and normal reaction, it balances this weight with the normal reaction which is perpendicular to the surface in the upward direction. Now if the object is moving in this direction, according to the force of friction, the force of limiting friction is acting in this direction, which is denoted by the letter F. Now according to the definition, the angle of friction between any two surface means this surface this sliding surface, is defined as the angle which the resultant of the force of limiting friction. Limiting friction आपकी इस डायरेक्शन में लग रही है, and the resultant of the force of limiting friction F and the normal reaction R makes with the direction of normal reaction R. Means, if the limiting friction is acting in this direction and normal reaction is acting in this direction, इन दोनों forces का जो resultant है, this is the resultant of normal reaction and force of limiting friction. इन दोनों के बीच का एंगल ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, but according to the definition makes with the direction of normal reaction. तो normal reaction का direction आपका ये direction में है, तो इनके बीच का जो ये एंगल है, रिजल्टेंट एंड नॉर्मल रिएक्शन के बीच का जो एंगल है, दिस विल बिकम योर थीटा. सो एंगल AOC is the angle of friction. Now the next is the relation between mu. Mu is the coefficient of limiting friction, and theta. Theta is the angle of friction between mu and theta. Now in triangle AOC. AOC means AOC. I'm talking with this triangle where the angle theta is, angle of friction is this. Now tan theta is equal to perpendicular over base, that is AC upon OA is equal to, since it is a parallelogram, so we are applying here a parallelogram law. So AC is also equal to OB and AO is equal and parallel to CB. So F, AC की जगह, in place of AC you can write F because force of friction is in this direction, and OA is your normal reaction. That means tan theta is equal to F upon R. So tan theta is equal to F upon R. We can say that F upon R is also from the laws of limiting friction. First law of limiting friction, mu is equal to F upon R. So mu can be written as mu is equal to tan theta. That is coefficient of limiting friction. This is the coefficient of limiting friction between any two surfaces in contact, is equal to the tangent, equal to the tenth of the angle of friction between them. 10 of the angle of friction between them. इन दोनों के बीच का जो 10 of the angle between them, that is also is equal to the mu. Now our next important term is angle of repose, or you can say it angle of sliding. By the name is said the angle at which the object is sliding over a inclined plane. So let us take, according to definition, it is denoted by a letter alpha. Alpha, that is the angle of repose or angle of sliding, is defined as the minimum angle of inclination of a plane with the horizontal such that a body placed on the plane just begin to slide down. ऐसा एंगल जिस पे बॉडी just begin to slide down. Let us understand with more clarity. Let us understand, this is the plane surface and this is your inclined surface and this is the one of the object. अब ये जब इसके ऊपर रखते हैं, इस ऑब्जेक्ट को जब आप इसके ऊपर रख रहे हो, एंड द एंगल एट विच इट स्लाइड, ऐसा एंगल जिसके ऊपर, सपोज यहाँ पे ये नहीं मूव कर रहा, सपोज आई एम टेकिंग लाइक दिस ओनली, अगर ये ऑब्जेक्ट यहाँ पे नहीं मूव कर एट दिस एंगल विद द बेस, और हमने इंक्रीज करा, इट इज नॉट मूविंग एट ऑल, और मैंने इसको इंक्रीज किया, इट इज नॉट मूविंग, द एंगल एट विच इट स्टार्ट मूविंग, वो एंगल जिसपे ये स्लाइडिंग होना स्टार्ट हो गया है, दैट एंगल विद द सरफेस, वो एंगल जिससे ये ऑब्जेक्ट स्लाइड होना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा, दैट एंगल इज कॉल्ड एन एंगल ऑफ स्लाइडिंग और एंगल ऑफ रिपोज. Now angle BAC, let us see the figure. This is the plane of the plane where the object is sliding. This is an inclined plane which is making an angle alpha, which is called as angle of repose. Now the weight is placed over it, weight mg which is acting downward, and normal reaction is which is acting perpendicular to the surface. तो ये आपका normal reaction which is acting perpendicular to the surface. Now the object, because of the inclined plane, the object is moving in this direction, so obviously the force of limiting friction will act in opposite to the motion of the force, it will act in this direction. So according to the definition of the angle of friction, it is the angle between the normal reaction and the motion, force of limiting friction. That means this angle become the theta. So this angle become the theta. Now you can see that this is alpha. So automatically this is also your alpha. This angle is your, by mathematics, this angle is your alpha. So once this angle is your alpha, if we resolve mg, so the vector mg is resolving to this, in this direction mg cos alpha will come, and in this direction mg sin alpha will come. Clear? Now the various forces involved. mg, weight of the body acting vertical downward, weight of the body is acting vertical downward, ऐसे नहीं कर देना, ये तो इंक्लाइंड हो गया, वर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड इस तरह से रहेगा. आर, नॉर्मल रिएक्शन एक्टिंग परपेंडिकुलर टू ए बी, normal reaction R which is perpendicular to AB. mg is resolved into two components. As I said, weight mg जो आपका, we am going to resolve into two components, mg cos alpha which is equal to R, you can take the equation number 2, and mg sin alpha, it is balanced by the force F. So in equilibrium condition, F is balanced by mg sin alpha and R is balanced by mg cos alpha. So dividing equation 1 by 2, we get F, which is equation number 1, mg sin alpha upon R, mg cos alpha. mg cancel out, you can write F upon R is equal to sin upon cos is your tan alpha, and you can write tan theta. You already know tan theta is equal to mu, we already have done the relation, which is equal to F upon R also. Since you can write here, since tan theta is equal to mu, which is equal to F upon R also. So by this relation we can write tan theta is equal to tan alpha, or we can say that theta is equal to alpha, which means that angle of friction, which is denoted by theta, is equal to angle of repose or angle of inclination. You can write anything. So angle theta is equal to angle R, angle alpha also. So next, we already have done the centripetal force in our previous chapter also. Let us revise that definition again. The centripetal force is the force required to move a body uniformly in a circle this force acts along the radius and toward the center of the circle. Now if the object is moving in a circular manner and every point the velocity is in the v direction, which is a vector quantity, so they are moving with the velocity v. So the centripetal force, the acceleration which is required to rotate this body in a circular motion, this force is equal to F is equal to v square upon r, or r is equal to omega square, where v is the linear velocity, omega is the angular velocity, r is the radius of the circular path. Or we can say that centripetal force is equal to mass into centripetal acceleration. This is your centripetal acceleration which is required to rotate the body in a circular motion. So A is equal to v square upon r, or r omega square. So and F is equal to ma from the second law. So you can write centripetal force is equal to mass into centripetal acceleration. So we can write centripetal force equal to mass into A. You can replace the value from here till here from centripetal acceleration, or in place of this you can also replace r omega square. So this is the value of mv, this is the centripetal force, that is mv square upon r, which is required a body to move in a circular motion. And centripetal acceleration acts along the radius. It will act along the radius and towards the center of the circle. It always toward the center of the circle. तो जो आपकी centripetal force है, it is always acts along the radius and towards the center of the circle. Now there is a next term, centrifugal force. It is a force that arises when a body is moving actually along a circular path by virtue of tendency of the body to regain its natural straight line path. The magnitude of centripetal force is mv square upon r, which is equal to magnitude of centrifugal force. Means the direction of centrifugal force is the opposite to the direction of centripetal force. Now if the direction of centripetal force is in this direction towards the center, तो जो centrifugal force होगी वो उसकी opposite direction में act करेगी. To balance the centripetal force, the centrifugal force is in the opposite to the centripetal force. So we can say that centrifugal force acts along the radius and always from the center of the circle.